everyone. A very warm welcome to today's PV Tech webinar in association with Sunman. I'm Ben Willis, consultant editor at Solar Media, which publishes PV Tech and Photovoltaics International, among other industry-leading publications. Today, we're going to take a close look at a technology that could revolutionize the commercial and industrial rooftop solar segment, which is set to become an increasingly important part of the overall solar mix globally. This was underlined only a week ago when members of the European Parliament voted overwhelmingly to adopt the EU solar standard, part of a directive that will require the installation of solar on buildings across EU member states. Over the coming 5 years, the policy will gradually ratchet up the obligations to place solar on public and non-residential buildings, initially on new build constructions, but eventually on renovated and existing buildings too. The aim of these measures is to slash carbon emissions from the EU's building stock, which accounts for some 36% of the EU's greenhouse gas emissions. The challenge with commercial rooftop installations is that not all rooftops are made equal. Many are lightweight and simply do not have the necessary load-bearing capacity of 15 kilograms per square meter to support a typical crystalline silicon solar installation. Added to this, many lightweight rooftops cannot be penetrated, which precludes rooftop mounting systems that require some kind of penetrative anchoring system. As a consequence, an estimated 40% of commercial and industrial rooftops are effectively locked out of the solar market. So, if ambitions such as those recently agreed by the EU are to be realised, new technologies will be needed to overcome the limitations of the large swathe of buildings that currently cannot accommodate solar. This is where Sunman's eArc technology comes into its own. eArc is the brainchild of Dr. Zhenrong Shi, best known as the founder of pioneering PV module manufacturer Suntech. It's the product of 10 years of research and development, an ultralight, glass-free crystalline silicon PV module that drastically reduces the weight of a solar installation to just 4 kilograms per square meter. I'm very pleased to welcome Dennis Shi, president of Sunman, who will give us an introduction to the eArc concept and its huge potential in the C&I sector. After Dennis has given his presentation, we'll be opening the floor to questions from you, our audience. As always, this interaction is really important to us, so please put your questions for Dennis in the questions tab on the right-hand side of your screen, and we will do our best to answer them in the Q&A session after the presentation. So without further ado, I'll hand over to Dennis. Dennis, the floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you, Ben, for the kind introduction. And, it is with great excitement that, I get the chance today to present Sunman on the PV Tech platform and kind of showcase, what Sunman has been up to over the last 10 years. And also, most importantly, introduce the concept of lightweight solar modules. So as everybody knows, currently in the downstream market, everybody's kind of selling the same thing into the same applications. It's a very homogeneous downstream market at the moment. But, hopefully, with lightweight solar modules, we can find those new project and new rooftop opportunities. So like one of the purposes of this call is not just to introduce lightweight solar to the market, but also to inspire the market to look for those opportunities and look for those special applications. So just some high-level figures. Everybody is aware that Bloomberg published a report, and it's estimated this year will surpass the 500 gigawatt mark. But referencing an earlier Solar Power Europe report, the figures are a little bit more conservative in this report, but they believe rooftop solar will make up greater than 40% of added global capacity each year. So in other words, rooftop solar, this is really the golden age of rooftop solar we're entering. But as Ben kindly pointed out earlier, an estimated 40% of CNI rooftops cannot install a glass module system because of structural limitations. Or in other words, typically when a building cannot sustain 15 kilos per square meter because it's too heavy, roof reinforcements are required to install solar. So, depending on the market you're in, this could add, $50 to $75 per square meter just to make the roof stronger to install solar. But with our solution, you can bypass all of that structural strengthening cost because our solution only weighs 3 kilos per square meter. I'll explain a little more going forward. But anyways, even though lightweight solar is a growing niche and not yet the mainstream, but the demand for lightweight solar is very much real. Every day, the Sunman sales team receives inquiries from, all over the world saying, I've got this project, but I can't install solar. My roof is too weak. And, these are just some examples. But, if you look at the second customer request, this is actually a screenshot that we took from a tender document. Basically, the roof could install 1.5 megawatts, but because of the structural strength of the roof, they couldn't install anything. And it was basically our solution that was able to bring this kind of a project to life. So, obviously, if you can't install glass modules, I'm here to introduce you to the potential of a lightweight solar. Just a little bit about Sunman. Sunman was founded in 2014, deeply rooted in Sydney, Australia. We commercialized the world's first ultralight solar module. We call our module product eArc. eArc is based on market-proven crystalline silicon solar cells, but we use an entirely different encapsulation system. So we replace glass with a special proprietary front polymer and back polymer. And currently, we operate 1 gigawatt of capacity in Jiangsu, China, and we have 3 gigawatts planned. Since inception, we've already installed 600 megawatts of this product worldwide. And what is eArc and what kind of benefits it has? Just to skim through the characteristics. Obviously, ultralight. We don't have glass. 2.8 kilos per square meter. The panel is semi-flexible. And, obviously higher safety, instead of 2 people carrying 40 kilos on a roof, if you drop it, you might hurt yourself. If you drop our panel, you'll be fine. And durability. So Sunman is, certified to the same standards of, glass modules. So I will expand on that point a little bit more later. Obviously fast installation. We don't need clamps. We don't need rail. We don't need ballast. Our installation method is a peel and stick approach. Being only 2 millimeter thick, we're also highly aesthetic. It can give you that BIPV illusion, and obviously, high packing density. So 140 HC of our panel can pack, 450 kilowatts to 550 kilowatts, depending on the product. So we can reduce shipping costs per watt significantly. And just a high level comparison with glass modules. Glass modules typically weigh 15 kilos per square meter. Our solution weighs 2.8 kilos per square meter. Again, don't need racks, don't need rails, don't need ballast. So our installation methodology is much quicker. And, because we don't use aluminum and steel in our module or in our BOS components, we're insulated from commodity fluctuations. But, more importantly, right, after highlighting the differences, I think it's important to highlight the similarities. eArc shares the same supply chain as glass modules. So, first of all, we're cell agnostic, insulated from upstream technology swings. So currently, we still use the standard crystalline silicon solar cell. Back in the day, we used the aluminum BSF, and then we transitioned smoothly to PERC. And now we are in the process of transitioning to TOPCon. And secondly, because we're using crystalline silicon solar cells, the module production process, and the CapEx intensity is highly similar to glass modules. So we take advantage of, the low CapEx per gigawatt that you see in glass, in the kind of the realm of glass modules. So highly scalable. And right now a lot of people are talking about supply chain reshoring. With our solution, with our product, because we don't need solar grade glass or aluminium, the supply chain is actually shorter for the non-silicon BOM. So this plays well into a lot of these political themes and kind of global themes around supply chain reshoring. And most importantly, right, I think crystalline silicon is a beneficiary of huge investment. So we benefit from so Sunman also benefits from huge upstream investment. So we estimate that the industry poured in $130 billion just into the supply chain last year. And as a result, you see the cost reduction. So we're actually able to ride that wave. 2 years ago, you buy a solar cell, it's like 15 cents per watt. But right now you get it for 6 cents. So huge benefit to us. And a little bit about Sunman and what we do. I call this the 3M operational model. First and foremost, we're a material company. We produce the front and back sheet to encapsulate the solar modules, the solar cells. And secondly, we buy the cells from outside, and we have a fully automated gigawatt scale production facility. And lastly, because our modules are different to the conventional paradigm, so we need to develop mounting and installation solutions around our modules. So we have a very unique kind of positioning in the value chain in the market. And the question that we get the most is like, how's the durability? Our modules have passed the standard IEC 61215, 61730, UL and CGC multiple times. And further to that, we've also done extensive testing, such as dust testing. Can our non-glass material withstand abrasive sand? And also salt mist corrosion. Can your modules be installed in marine environments? Also ammonia corrosion, again, farm applications, and PID. And last but not least, we've also been through third-party technical DD to gain project financing for lots of projects. So we've tested this product very aggressively over the last 10 years. And just a little bit on the product mix. Currently, we have two main products: high performance modules built for the CNI market. So SMF on the left is a frameless crystalline silicon lightweight module. It's a 520 watt based on 182 mm PERC cells. On the right, you will see SMH. SMH is basically a version of SMF that has a pre-integrated mounting on the back, the black structure you see on the back. So these modules weigh 7.7 kilos and 11.1 kilos respectively. So extremely lightweight. And at the moment, we're about to announce our new TOPCon product, which is coming to market end of this year. The other question that lots of customers and lots of interested parties, they tend to ask is, how do you install a lightweight solar panel? So the picture on the back kind of answers that question. Typically, we use an adhesive silicone glue to glue the module onto a variety of substrates. So we call our installation method quick bonding. Quick bonding, we didn't invent quick bonding. Quick bonding is a mature construction technique that's already proven in the building and automotive industry for over 60 years. So typically, if you look at the built environment, skyscrapers, all the glass facades are not fixed in place with nuts and bolts. They're typically fixed with silicon. So Sunman basically repurposed this construction method to install solar. And silicon is a highly durable material. It has the same chemical base as sand and quartz, highly resistant to weathering and UV radiation. And as I said, the structural silicone market is very mature. It's projected to grow to $82 billion in 2031. So again, just borrowing something that's already proven in other lateral sectors and just repurposing it for solar. And all silicones in the construction market, they tend to go through extensive testing, whether that be on adhesion, cohesion, durability, weather resistant, UV, and chemical resistance. So on the bottom here, you basically see a typical installation setup for Sunman in kind of the flat roof scenario. Just to dive a little deeper into the gluing patterns and the fixing methodology that Sunman uses, this was actually a joint desktop review we did with a global structural engineering partner called eArc. So basically on the left, you will see our 520 watt module. And, if you glue along the width side, it's usually 6 strips of glue. And, if you glue along the length side, it's 4 strips of glue. Now, obviously, the amount of glue depends on where you install the panels, different wind regions, different wind loads, so forth and so on. And, on the right, you kind of see a lateral view of, how we apply the panel on typical CNI rooftops. So the first is a profile metal decking. Typically, we would glue on the ribs and place the panel on top. And, the second example is kind of a flat membrane PVC scenario where we typically use a substructure. This could be a polymeric tubing or, aluminum C-channel. We basically glue the substructure on the roof, and then we glue the panels on top. And lastly, we see a lot of standing seam metal roofs, vertically locking metal roofs. In these cases, we could also glue substructure onto the base of the roof and then glue our modules on top. So it's a very versatile and easy to understand installation solution. So, what are the structural benefits of the Sunman installation method versus a traditional glass installation? So, we offer a distinct advantage. With glue, when there's a high wind load, the distribution of load across the panel is distributed across evenly dispersed glue lines. But if you look at, on the left, you see like a glass module installation. Typically, it's like 4 fixing points. So, when there's high wind loads, this basically means that the force is concentrated on those 4 fixing points. So, for high wind load regions, right? Gluing actually causes less stress on the roof compared to kind of fixing with nuts and bolts. And again, on the right is kind of the comparison of like a typical installation setup of glass modules on a flat roof versus a Sunman solution. Glass modules, you typically have to anchor them onto the purlin, which induces stress on the localized stress on the roof. Whereas, again, our adhesive solution allows for dispersed glue lines. And, we've done a lot of testing of, gluing modules and just checking overall system level durability. So one of such tests is a 160 kilometer per hour wind tunnel test. So basically the modules are glued onto a roof substrate at a 45-degree slope. There's a buildup of wind speed from 25 meters per second to 45 meters per second. And the wind basically peaks for a continuous 10 minutes. And there's no failure or detachment of the glue and module from the substrate. This is in a laboratory, but I'd like to add some color on this point. On real life projects, for certain projects, Sunman, depending on the gluing pattern, but Sunman is certified to withstand wind loads of over 300 kilometers per hour on a 25-meter story building. So we can take more basically. And just showcase the market applications that are enabled by lightweight solar. First of all, like our frameless module on a typical metal roof, I explained the installation method previously is typically gluing along the ribs and then placing the panels on top. Our single largest project to this date is 30 megawatts. This is like a steel mill plant. And basically the shed structure was too lightweight to take the glass modules. So the investor ended up, opting for a more lightweight solution. So again, we're like a fully commercialized technology. And, similarly, this is a 3 megawatt project we did in the Netherlands. This is a logistics warehouse. And, for this project, we were actually able to get financing. The project owner was actually able to get financing from the bank. That goes to show that, in a lot of markets, lightweight modules are already a bankable product. And then again, we've completed many projects across, 40 plus countries. And these are just examples of kind of the flagship, metal roof applications we've done. Going further, like installing on flat roofs and membranes, similar installation methodology. It's a substructure. Substructure goes first on the roof, and then glue the modules on top. And again, many megawatts of applications already installed worldwide. And another question that typical asset owners and customers they care about is that if I want to maintain the roof, can I remove the panel and reinstall it? As I previously mentioned, right, we have two versions of our product, one that is frameless and the other one that comes with a mounting structure on the back. With the second version of the product, we've designed a removable installation method where you can fix the brackets and then unscrew the brackets to take the panels off. So this is for special requests with customers they want a removable solution. Then again, this is also a solution that we've successfully brought to market. This is a 10 megawatt project that we just completed in Shanghai. Another interesting application that we've seen in the market is EV charging infrastructure and PV carports. On the left, you can see a hanging structure where our solar panels are installed. Basically, this structure is designed to be retractable. So when there's a heavy snowstorm, they will retract the structure, and if the weather is good, the sun is out, they will open it up. And similarly, standard carport solutions, because we're so lightweight, we save a lot of grounding and structural costs. So especially for new build carports, this is again a very popular application. And another application that we see more and more is facades. Typically, for kind of these metal facades, we will use a special adhesive to fix the panels onto the wall. And we've installed many of these in many countries. And lastly, beyond commercial and industrial rooftops and facades, vehicle integrated PV is another interesting and growing field. Typically, our panels are mounted on the box trucks or the buses to power like ancillary devices such as AC or tail lifts, or even if you're talking cold chain logistics like refrigeration. And then again, right, as I mentioned earlier, the downstream market, we see lots of people selling similar products into similar applications. But there's this untapped market potential. 40% of the built environment cannot install glass panels because it's simply too heavy. So we believe that lightweight solar opens an opportunity to target new applications. So definitely believe a differentiated product can uncover new business opportunities for more downstream players. So thank you very much.
Excellent. Thank you very much for that, Dennis. That was a really insightful presentation. So many thanks. So we're on to the question section now, and we've had quite a few coming in. So we'll try and get to them, or I may have to kind of wrap a few up together. But just an initial one regarding the kind of backstory about the eArc technology, what the sort of initial aim was in developing it, and what was the intention in terms of differentiating it with what we would typically regard as BIPV, building integrated PV, which has obviously been around on the market for a number of years.
Yeah, thank you, Ben. In regards to the original intention to develop this product, so I think there was always a demand for lightweight and flexible solar panels. If you look at thin film, that was kind of targeted at these special applications. But as thin film is very expensive and the efficiency is not as high as crystalline silicon. So for us, we always believed that the market wanted this kind of product, but we didn't want to go down the old road. That's why we stuck to the crystalline silicon paradigm. We didn't innovate on the semiconductor front. We stuck to crystalline silicon solar cells and focused our development efforts on the material front and back sheet side.
Great, thanks very much. We've had quite a few questions, probably unsurprisingly, regarding sort of durability, reliability, and actually one about cracking. Obviously, without the sort of protective layer of glass, that breakage of cells is clearly a risk here. I wonder if you could just address that and how breakage in cells is addressed in this product.
Yeah, so you know, I think like micro cracks is an issue that's not unique to, you know, it's a ubiquitous problem, I would say. You know, right now as like glass panels are getting bigger, definitely you do see more micro cracks in the market. But you know, in terms of how the Sunman panel prevents micro cracks, this is really a result of the polymer composite material we developed. So the polymer composite we developed is basically a fiber strengthened material, and you know, it has a mechanical base and fiber matrix. As you know, glass fiber, carbon fiber, they all have they're all high strength materials. So basically what the material is able to do is to encapsulate the cell in kind of a special fiber matrix. And if you're handling the module, basically the force is evenly distributed across the material instead of causing point load on the cell, which causes the crack.
See, thanks very much. Yes, on the I'm going to try and wrap a few questions together here on the sort of durability and safety side of things. I mean, on the durability front, I guess, I mean, you discussed briefly wind in your presentation. One might add to that rain as well, you know, accumulation of dust, the need for cleaning, things like that, but also fire safety as well. Obviously, that's a key concern for a rooftop installed module. So I wonder if you could address these questions around the durability in various different ways and fire safety. Can you hear me, Dennis? Yeah.
Sorry, I had a connection issue. Okay, so basically, fire safety. Yeah. So basically, fire safety. Yeah. So you know, typical IEC standard is Class C fire resistance. So you know, we passed the IEC 61215 standard, but beyond that kind of a standard fire testing, we've also done extensive, you know, kind of a building code level fire resistance tests. You know, that is including, you know, B roof T1, T2, and T4. So you know, these fire, you know, the requirements for these tests is much more strict than the standard Class C fire resistance. So we're fairly confident in terms of fire resistance.
Great stuff. And on the sort of durability aspects as well. I mean, you talked briefly about wind. I wonder if you could perhaps talk a bit more broadly about the durability aspect of the modules, but also the fixing, the adhesive fixing.
Yeah. So you know, as I said, right, you know, the gluing methodology of installing panels is something that we borrowed from the construction industry. So most of the silicones we use are already highly proven in kind of the building material, kind of the building environment. So I'll just give you an example, right? You know, lots of, you know, waterproof membranes are, you know, fully adhered to the base roof. So, you know, for some applications, we also use a similar glue. You know, as you know, like, you know, large industrial roofs don't get blown off. So like, you know, we're able to replicate that and bring that to a solar environment. And, you know, just to emphasize one of the points I said earlier, you know, we did this one project where it was a 25-meter high building where the wind loads would exceed, you know, 300 kilometers per hour. And, you know, we were able to, you know, with a special gluing pattern and the right glue, you know, it is a very durable installation system.
Great, thanks very much. Right, quite a few more questions to get through here. One about the actual installation of the Sunman panels. the questioner asked about whether special training was required with the installation of the modules, and if so, wonder if you could talk about that, and which contractors so far have this training, so that people can make use of this new product.
Yeah, so I'll just use Europe as an example. In Europe, we're active in over 20 countries, and we work with many distributors and EPCs. First of all, we have a very sophisticated technical team in Europe that can give not just installation training, but also technical advice around adhesive selection and general installation requirements. So we can definitely provide that kind of service to our customers. And further to that, we have many end users that have projects, and we basically would refer them to a partner of choice, our installation partners, and we can help you make the project work.
Great, thanks. Quick one here about optimization of the panels, whether solar edge type optimization solutions are compatible with these with the Sunman modules to reduce loss of generation and also DC shock risk. I wonder if you have anything to say about optimization.
So we have seen several customers pair our panels with solar edge optimizers, so it is doable, and it is something that we see in many European markets.
Great, thanks. Yeah, I mean, just a question about your plans. I'll probably wrap these couple of questions together just because they're sort of related and we're running a bit low on time. But you mentioned you had a gigawatt, I think, of manufacturing capacity. I wonder if you could talk about any future plans you have for expanding production geographically, and also sort of linked to that, your plans on the R&D front for developing the technology further. I think you referred to a TopCon variant being developed at the moment, but perhaps beyond that, the sort of technology roadmap you've got for your product.
Yeah, so right now, in terms of capacity, right, the company has entered a fast growth phase over the last 4 years, and currently we've already planned 3 gigawatts of capacity in total. This includes capacity in China and a capacity in the capacity abroad. So that's the answer to the capacity question. And in terms of R&D direction, I think first of all, cost reduction while not sacrificing durability has always been a common theme in R&D. And again, right, accommodating, shifting from PERC to TopCon is again, accommodating new cell changes, making optimizations in the encapsulation material. This is definitely a constant direction for us. Also another thing is that I mentioned that mounting, the installation of our panels is very important, because there's no predecessor, there's no ecosystem. Like glass modules, you have lots of mounting manufacturers to choose from, but for Sunman, we're creating a whole new ecosystem. So how do we develop cost-effective mounting solutions? And just to expand on that point, if you look at the total system cost, right, modules are getting very, very cheap. But if you look at labor is going up. There's a shortage of labor. So a lot of our development on the installation front is how to make installation quicker and cheaper. So we can install more within 12 hours or 8 hours. So that's always a direction for us. And lastly, right now we're just looking at the low-hanging fruit C&I market. There's other new applications, BIPV, agrivoltaics. These are all new applications that we're developing products for.
Lovely, thank you. Right, we're running a bit low on time, so I'll just take. There's a few questions about the warranties for the product and particularly for the fixing, the adhesion. I wonder if you could address that, who certifies it and what sort of warranties you offer for that.
Yeah, so you know, on the module warranty, it's a 25-year linear output warranty. You know, because as I said, the crystalline silicon solar cell is the same. In terms of like warranty for workmanship, the product warranty is 12 years. So that's the answer to the warranty question. Sorry, Ben, what was the other question? I think you're muted.
Sorry, yeah, specifically about the adhesion aspect and certification and warranties relating to that.
Yeah, so you know, typically, you know, we work with a wide variety of adhesive manufacturers. So you know, so typically, right, you know, we can recommend a glue for your project, and you know, provide warranty that this glue is, you know, that this glue will fix this, you know, specified substrate, and you know, and the glue manufacturer, you know, that sells the glue to the customer would give that warranty. So you know, Sunman is definitely not a one-man army. You know, we work with other adhesive manufacturers to work together to give you that warranty.
Great stuff. Well, we've run over on time. Just by way of a kind of closing question, I guess. Your sort of ambitions for your products, and where you see the greatest potential, and the development of the commercial and industrial segment more generally. I wonder if you could just give us a few parting thoughts on those questions.
You know, I think you know, we're very bullish on the commercial industrial rooftop market, the self-consumption market. You know, recently in the European context, you know, as you mentioned earlier, there's a new European rooftop solar standard, where that, you know, by 2030, all public, all commercial buildings, all residential buildings need to install some form of solar. So we think, you know, the market is definitely hitting that golden age kind of tipping point. And you know, in terms of, you know, for Sunman, right, in a European context, you know, like, you know, we tend to do very well in, you know, Germany, Czech Republic, Poland, and you know, France and the Benelux. And you know, recently I saw that France passed a new feed-in tariff policy that was higher than expected. So you know, I think these stabilizing factors will continue to drive the you know, commercial industrial rooftop. And you know, outside Europe, like you know, China, you know, China is you know, last year installed like, I think, around 100 gigawatts of a rooftop. So you know, again, you know, this goes to show that, you know, rooftop solar is really hitting the is really growing segment. And yeah, we're excited to see this market to grow and to grow along it.
Lovely. Well, thank you very much, Dennis, for answering those questions. Sorry if we didn't get to all the questions that came in. There were quite a few of them, so I've been trying to kind of keep tabs on what's been coming in, but apologies if we didn't get to you. So that brings us to the end of this webinar. I hope you found it insightful and stimulating. I know I've found it very informative, so thanks, Dennis. Recordings of the presentation and the slides you've seen will be, I believe, emailed to webinar participants in the next few days, and the webinar recording will also be available in full shortly on the on-demand section on PV Tech, so keep an eye out for that. So all that remains is for me to offer a huge thanks to Sunman for sponsoring this webinar, and to Dennis, our presenter today. Thank you, Dennis. Their contact details will be available on the presentation you receive after the webinar, so I hope you'll be able to keep the conversation going. So thanks to all of you for tuning in, and goodbye from me and all the team at PV Tech. Have a very good day. Thank you.
Thank you very much.